For this lesson, you'll need your green books and you'll need to write the title Academic Reading Starter that you can see here on the screen. If you do not have your green books, lined paper is more than suitable. Academic Reading Starter. Which of the images below do you think best represents the idea of craftsmanship? What do you think this term means? Have some time to silently reflect on the answer before answering it in your book. This is just an opinion. I'm not looking for the correct answer. I'm looking for your opinion. What do you think this term means? Which of the images below do you think best represents the idea of craftsmanship? Okay, so if you're really unsure as to what the term craftsmanship means, it means a skill in a particular craft. So now that we have a formal definition, which image below do you think better represents craftsmanship and why? Again, take a minute to silently reflect, and then you're welcome to discuss your ideas with the person next to you once enough time has passed. Okay, so now on the screen you should be able to see image A, a trinket box, and image C, a chair. Although there is a clear difference in detail, both these products would be considered as craftsmanship. Why do you think they are both seen as this? Okie dokie, so yes, product A looks prettier. It is clear to see that a lot of time and effort has gone into the making of it. It's got a lot of ornate detail. It gives you the impression that a lot of time was taken to make this lovely little trinket box that you can see as image A. However, product C is still a really good example of craftsmanship due to the way it functions. Now, a lot of time and effort would have gone into the thought of the product as well as the making. But this is something that we will read about later. Something we've ignored, however, product B. Now, in my opinion, product B is not a form of craftsmanship. Why do you think that might be? Okay, so for the remainder of this lesson, you need to find this page in your booklet. Okay, it will say academic reading at the top left-hand corner. There'll be a table with some questions and then an article. Find that page in your booklet now, and while you're doing that, I'm going to give you my answer to the question that was on the previous slide. So why that phone, in my opinion, is not a form of craftsmanship. And in my opinion, it's because although a lot of skill has gone into making that phone, so a lot of computers would be involved, there's not enough manual labor behind it. No one has physically picked up that phone and individually soldered all of that, all the circuitries, the transistors, everything that goes on into that product. Not one person has picked up and done that. Robots have done it, machines have done it. And in my opinion, that's not really craft. I mean, don't get me wrong, to use the software, now that is skill. But I would not deem that as craft, as craftsmanship. I think that is a skill, but I don't think it's craftsmanship. And it's something that we are going to investigate later on in a different lesson, but that was my opinion. So thank you in advance, or thank you for all of your thoughts and opinions that you've shared. Now we're going to continue our lesson with some academic reading. No shame in the Poang chair. Now that I spend about 95% of my life in my apartment, I've been thinking more and more about my seating choices. My typical routine goes from a stool at the kitchen counter, aka my desk, to a wooden bench at the dining table for meals, to a love seat for lounging and TV. What I'm missing is a good reading chair. On a hunt for an option that I could sit back and relax in, I found there to be three main categories. First, there's the investment piece. The price of a solid reading chair can easily cost at least $1,000. It makes sense though, since the craftsmanship and materials for these pieces typically match the price. Second, there's the very inexpensive but potentially uncomfortable option. Amazon and similar retailers have a slew of less than $100 chairs, but it's hard to believe that these have the care and consideration for good ergonomics, or the ability to last more than a couple of novels worth of sitting. Finally, there's the Poang chair. IKEA's highly recognizable piece with its bent wood frame, curved backrest, and cantilevered seat is sold by the millions annually. I resisted it for years, feeling like it was too basic or boring, but then I came to realize it's just a perfect chair. I already know it's comfortable, having gravitated toward it every time I'm at my parents' house. I came to love it. Even more when I learned about the idea behind the chair, which was originally called Poang. The creator, Japanese designer Noboru Nakamura, who collaborated with IKEA's director of design Lars Engman in the 1970s, wanted the Poang to swing in an elegant way. Noboru didn't want the chair to be a static seat. He wanted it to be for the emotional richness, for swinging to let off steam. Now that's the chair I need. Even better, the Poang has so many great colours and upholstery options these days. I like that I can evolve with the chair, but no matter what, I can keep swinging in it. Question 1. How do you think the cost of a product reflects on the quality? Now, before we answer the above question in our booklets, the academic reading page, we need to know the definition of the term quality. Can anyone suggest a definition, please and thank you? Quality, the standard of something as measured against other things of a similar kind. So some of you may have suggested the answers of it's something that looks good, it's something that's made well, and you're absolutely right. Quality, the standard of something as measured against other things of a similar kind. So for example, if we look around the room right now, you'll see, and you were to line up all of your pencil cases, now they're all made to a quality. However, we might want to line them up. And on the left-hand side, we might want to put the lowest quality of pencil case, and then we might want to build up and up and up and up and up until we get to the highest level of quality. But until we know which is which, we need to measure them against one another. So we need to look at both or all of them and decide which order of quality they would go into. So your task now, I want you to answer question 1 in your booklet on the academic reading page. You may need to reread parts of the article to help gather an answer, which is why I'm going to give you a few minutes. And after those few minutes, we will come together as a class to discuss our ideas. Now, I can't stress this enough. Even if you're not sure of the answer, please do write something down. Do not be afraid to put your pen to paper. It really, really doesn't matter if you're wrong. Again, it's an opinion. How do you think? I'm not asking for the correct answer. I'm asking for your opinion. So please make sure you get something written down. On a hunt for an option that I could sit back and relax in, I found there to be 3 main categories. First, there's the investment piece. The price of a solid reading chair can easily cost at least $1,000. It makes sense though, since the craftsmanship and materials for these pieces typically match the price. So here on the screen I have a paragraph from the academic article, and what I've highlighted is what I think can help you generate an answer for question 1. So we can leave it here for maybe a few seconds for you to read through your answer, digest what I've just read out. Is there anything you can add to your answer? Is there anything you can change? Use this time effectively. Question 3. Who designed the Poang chair, and what was the concept behind the design? So for this one, you will need to read through some of that article. Not the first or second paragraph. I believe it will be the final or the third paragraph you need to read to. Now, before you tell me, I know we've skipped a question. We have skipped question 2. Do not panic, though. We will come back to this. I know lots of you might be sad because we've skipped a number. We will come back to it, I promise. Won't be in this lesson, though, but it'll be in a future lesson. So let's focus on this one first. Question 3. Who designed the Poang chair and what was the concept behind the design? Read through the bits of the article that you need to, and then pop pen to paper and write down your answer. Okie dokie. So on the screen in front of you, you can see the paragraph that would help you to answer question 3. However, I could read it. I'm not going to, though. I'm going to ask for a wonderful volunteer who thinks that they can maybe read it better than I can, and I'm sure there's many of you in the room. And once that individual has read the paragraph, I'm then going to give you the opportunity to have a little think, reflect, discuss your answers as a class before we then move on. So any volunteers, please and thank you. Question 4. How is the Poang chair ergonomic? From the questions we've answered already, I really feel we will be able to come to a strong conclusion as to what the term ergonomic actually means. But can anyone offer me a suggestion? Now, before your hands shoot in the air like you just don't care, take some time in silence to reflect on what we've just done so far this lesson. Read through your answers or through some of the article to help you. And then after a moment of silence, maybe 1 minute, I will then, well, I won't because I'm not there, but I'm sure the lovely person in the room will then ask for people to pop their hands back up to see if anybody would be willing to suggest an answer. So again, I can't stress this enough. I'm asking for a suggestion. I'm not asking for the correct definition. You might know the correct definition, which if you do, fantastic. I'm after a suggestion. So 1 minute of reflection, and then we'll take some answers, some thoughts. Sorry, some thoughts. Okie dokie, ergonomics, one of my favourite words, ergonomics. It is a term used to describe products that are comfortable and easy to use. It's a big term, it's a GCSE term, we use this a lot at GCSE. So let's see if we can better understand what this word means through a small task, a discussion. You don't have to write anything down, just a discussion. I've got 2 images on the screen there. I've got the Poang chair on the right, and then I've got a wooden dining chair on the left. Now, the Poang chair is far more ergonomic than the wooden dining chair. I want you to discuss in your table groups, and then together as a class, why do we think that is? Now, look at the form. Look at the function of each chair. You can refer back to the article if you so wish, but we have no information about this wooden dining chair other than the fact it is a wooden dining chair. So this is all thought, this discussion. So have some time to discuss it in your table groups. Don't need to write anything down, it's just a discussion. And then we'll come together as a class to discuss our overall answers after maybe two or three minutes. But don't forget, the why. The why is important. Why is the Poang chair far more ergonomic than the wooden dining chair? Right, okie dokie, plenary time. So that means we're coming to the end of our time together. What I'd like you to do now is a little bit of reflection, a little bit of retrieval, because we've done a lot this lesson. We've talked about a lot. So I want you to answer the following questions in your green book on the starter page that we've already started previously. Don't need to, it doesn't need to be a brand new page. And what I'd like you to do, I want you to write the questions and then your answer. So question number 1, why do you think a good piece of craft is often higher in price? Question 2, why do you think it is important that designers make their products ergonomic? And then question 3, what is the problem with a product looking dull or boring when in a shop? So, before I leave you, what I need you to remember, guys, these questions here, the why, and the what, these are all opinions. So write down the questions, even if you're not sure of the answers, write down the questions, take a few seconds to think it through, break down some of the key terms if you need to, and then just give it a go. Give it a go. All right? It's just your opinion that I'm after. Thank you very much, and enjoy answering the questions.